Okay.
All right,
I,
so we have started take three of our discussion video, and let's talk about manga
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, all of you read manga, right? All of you are
yeah.
familiar
Yep.
with manga. So I just want to ask, since we were talking about anime before, what has the bigger market? Is it anime or is it manga?
Like personally, like not personally,
Not
generally, if you
personally.
see,
I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
not
about
personally.
market.
If you
I-
see, like in Japan, it's more like manga, because if it's not a hit manga, like if it's a light novel, they first get converted into a manga, then it converts into an anime. Like you need to have a hit manga, otherwise you cannot
So
like
I'm
appeal to
going to
the major
stop you right
audience.
there. I'm going to stop you right there. So all animes have a manga.
More or less, not all. Like I'm
now.
saying, like
More or
most of,
less.
more or less, all animes have a manga, or at least before the animes are aired, they produce a one shot of the manga. They at least produce a one shot. Like at least in most of the cases, I don't read all.
So
I mean,
I'm
all
curious about.
there's
I'm curious
actually
about this one thing. I'm curious about this one thing.
Yeah.
Opening up to everyone. So what happens? So somebody writes a manga and then goes to this huge. There are like 400,000 America, not thousand, like 400 or 500 anime production house in Japan, right?
Like
yeah.
So
for
so
yeah.
so
Okay,
what
so
happens? So
there
someone has a manga, someone has written a manga, and then this person goes to the production
It's
house.
just same way like the we publish novels and other short stories on the in the case of book, you go to the publisher or the editor, like for them to check your work and whether it they will publish it on their what do you call the
Website.
website
Okay.
or publication or
No,
not.
no,
Like
It
no.
works
I'm talking
more
about.
or less the same way.
I'm talking about like when does a manga makes the cut for anime? Anyone has any idea?
like uh, I
Adriana?
can talk about shonen manga. Okay, and
Yeah, Snehashish, can you
like
hold on a second? Adriana has something to say.
Yeah, so just from my industry expertise here, how it
Mm-hmm.
usually works is just how studios sometimes they notice a book and they buy the rights from the author so that they can make a movie on that book. Studios notice a manga is making so and so sales, and they go to the publisher of that manga. It's usually the magazine where it's being published, and they buy the rights from that publisher. That is how it goes when the manga comes first. Sometimes the light novel comes first.
Yes.
So you mentioned magazines. So are there like any kind of magazines where only one strip of comic? Sorry, what happens in? What
Okay, so
usually
how
happens? Yeah.
how it works is most manga.
I'm curious about the magazine and how it publishes the manga.
Uh-huh. So the magazines, most manga initially come out in a magazine which has like several different manga serialized in it, like chapter by chapter. Like Shonen Weekly is one of the popular ones. Then there's Heart. Then there's a lot of them.
So
And one,
so it's a magazine completely dedicated for manga.
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
And then once the manga gets popular, they get compiled into manga volumes with like 4 or 5 chapters. And then when it gets more popular, it gets licensed for an anime.
Oh, yes. Snehashish, what were you saying? Snehashish, are you there?
Snehashish, is he
Yeah.
disconnected?
Yeah, he's there, but he's not there. I guess his
That's a
internet
It
is.
is
lag.
his internet.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
is
Okay,
one.
Anyone
so
else who wants to say
okay,
something
so
about it?
I,
Yes,
I was going
Ronnie.
to the same thing what she said. Like it's totally like how they process it. Like for it needs to be a hit manga, then they will come to the publishing house and they will buy the rights. Like that's how they do.
yeah, and
Okay.
there's actually a reason why most anime have a manga. It's like there are
Yeah.
original anime
It
which
is
do
like that.
not have any
Assertive
predecessors like
advantage.
manga, light
Yes, yes, yes.
novels, or games. But I mean, when they're making an anime, they have to consider budget and everything, and it's a lot easier if the story is pre-written, the art is pre-done by another author, so they can just get the rights and make the anime. But in case
Yeah,
of
just
original
there's a
anime,
cost.
they have to make a story, create a plot, make characters, create art designs and stuff, and that's a lot more work. So it's a lot easier to just adapt a manga into an anime than make an original anime. So that's probably the reason why
but
most anime have
okay,
manga.
but
Snehashish?
do the authors get
Snehashish?
royalties for their work?
As much as I am knowledgeable, yes, they do get the royalty.
I mean, you have to, right? That's how it works.
Or it will be cancelled. There'll
No, no,
be
no, no.
law
Otherwise, it's
involved.
a rip-off, right? It's a rip-off.
Like
So,
how Ronnie said, like
Yeah.
like they don't have to pay a lot of money for the script writers and everything because the manga is there. But the manga is in a complete different medium, and to adapt it to anime, they have to completely rewrite the whole thing, right? Rewrite the whole
Yeah,
script and everything. So it takes time and effort and the money as well. What
So as much as so as
I
much as
think
I
is the
feel
fact
like
that anime.
someone writes a story and someone does the artwork, right? That's how it works.
I mean, that's how it can work. There are also times like someone has the story in their mind, and I mean that's the just they can do the artwork themselves if they're good at art, and they can have assistant mangaka
yeah.
who also draws for them, and then some assistant mangakas go on to make their own manga as well.
So Ronnie, I'll start with you. My next question is anime or manga? What do you
It
prefer?
it really depends because I mean manga has a lot more tail to it, I guess. I mean, there are like anime has fillers. First of all, that's one thing, and most of the times, usually fillers are not that good. Like, for example, I'll just take Naruto. Great story. The
Hmm.
manga, I really love the manga, but the fillers in the anime are like so so annoying, and they completely divert from the main plot we're going, and that's really annoying to me. So yeah, manga, but there's also another a different kind of enjoyment watching your favorite characters, the characters you love, the story you love, the world you love, getting animated and having emotion to themselves.
Right.
There's a different kind
Right.
of
Okay.
enjoyment to watching that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to be
I,
like, if you want to like
I'll
click
share.
on
I'll share my
details,
personal.
yeah,
Right.
if you want to
Yeah.
I'll
click
share
on,
my personal experience, which is I started watching My Hero Academia, and I'm crazy about it. And I finished it. Finished the animated series, and now I have no other choice but to shift to manga. And I have started it, but initially it was very difficult because visually I think I was missing out.
Yeah, it's
I was
totally
missing out
like
the action. I was missing out all for one. I was like, wait, also manga has a lot of nuances that's not there in the anime, right? So why don't, yeah, Riju, you were saying something.
yeah, no, like, I was like what you were saying, like the visualization part. It's totally like it varies from person to person. To me, like I can visualize when I read something, or I can visualize from the manga. Like I don't know with how it works, but it does. Like I don't want to show off like something else, but
Yeah,
I cannot
but
visualize
here's
it.
the
I
difference.
can visualize.
But here's the difference.
Yeah,
I have
it's
also
to
started reading a manga, and then I was watching the animated series. I didn't like it. I didn't like that.
yeah,
I
it's
was
totally
not
personal.
enjoying the anime experience. Yeah, exactly. So
Like,
so Riju, anime or manga for
like
you?
manga, and I have a like story behind it. Like I didn't used to read much manga before. Like there was a shoujo manga anime, Kaicho
Right.
Metsama. So it
Mm-hmm.
finished midway and they didn't release another second season. So I started reading that manga and it was great. But the main
Right.
story I prefer manga over anime is Tokyo Ghoul. Like Tokyo Ghoul as a manga is a great manga. Okay, it has like it shows everything that you want to know. But in the anime there are plot holes because the anime publishers
Yeah,
they made
Tokyo Ghoul is the prime example of it.
yeah, like they
Good
made
manga.
they made many differences in the anime. Like
Like
they
the
skipped most of the
studio
parts.
period. Yeah, but Tokyo Ghoul, for about Tokyo Ghoul, the studio Piero, they destroyed the whole anime.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
do it with every anime. There is like they add fillers, they add stuff, they don't animate well,
They
and they just
changed
cut
the
out.
route. I was okay with changing the route. Like, yeah, I can like watch Kaneki can go to a different route and like working with a terrorist organization, but that was not the point. Like, it totally skipped lot of things which Ishida wanted us to see. It told how the whole biology works. It was like why they do stuff like that, the psychology behind that, why Kaneki Ken would not choose goat to the terrorist organization, why he would choose to be near Toka and like others and to help them, and like it shows a lot of things which the anime doesn't, and they skip it. I don't know why they do it. It may be because of the cost. It like yeah, obviously making anime takes, and like they had to shorten it up, right? They had to like make a 180 chapter manga into 24 episodes. I don't remember how many episodes that was. I guess 24
Just
episodes,
wait for
right?
Shingeki no
Yeah,
Kyojin fourth season. Many things
Tomogno?
can happen.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, Tomogno? Anime or
All right.
manga?
I mean, I would say manga. The reason is I haven't read that much like manga, but I would say manga still. That's because when I was watching Bleach, what happened like at the end of Bleach, it says that like Ichigo Kurosaki loses all his powers. However, the manga, if you read the manga says that he again gains his spirit powers and the like acquires two Zanpakuto at the end of, I mean, in the manga. And in case of like the for other like captains of the squad in the spirit world, so those captains like changed over time, and some generated like different superpowers like new Zanpakutos and everything like Shikai, Bankai, every sort of things. But in the Bleach, I mean the Bleach animated series, nothing was there. Like I mean the animated series was good, but like the manga contains more detailed information about it.
The nuances are mixed up in that. So is,
Yeah,
is, is reading manga a relaxing experience? I mean,
Yes, it
I
to
is.
mean for
synthesize
I think
an experience, it's a
I
relaxing
think I
experience.
think it's like a completely individual perspective because there are some people who are like avid readers, like myself. I'm a very avid reader. You can see various novels right here. I read lots of stuff and I can easily visualize things and
Yeah,
stories even
that,
without art. But that's not, I guess, that's not possible for everyone. I mean, there are people
yes.
who don't have that much imagination, I
Yeah,
guess.
like the imagination is left to you. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
it's
spoon fed. The
completely, it
visual is
depends
not
on the
spoon fed.
individual. So it
Right.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
and also,
Yeah,
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 sure.
yeah, go
Akash.
ahead.
Yeah, so I totally agree with Ronnie. What Ronnie said is very much prevalent because I personally feel like reading is not my thing, and I envy people that can actually read and imagine stuff on their own. So yeah, I so miss that experience. I swear, I do want to read manga, but I simply can't because
So Akash,
somewhere
my question to you: anime or manga?
I prefer anime.
Okay.
Cause somewhere deep down, I crave for that voice, the voice acting and everything. That's something that I want. I can shift to a manga from anime cause I know how my character sounds like, but then I can't visualize on my own how they are. That's my thing.
also like pros to manga, like you can hide in your class and read manga, but you cannot hide in your class and watch anime. That was the truth. But
Sujata, anime or manga?
uh, Wait, manga, no doubt about.
most are manga people.
Yes, I am manga. I'm very impatient. I cannot wait so long
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
exactly my reason to read manga. I just cannot wait for the newer episodes in anime
Yeah,
because
and I think it's more or less like those adapted movies. So they change a lot in the storyline in the anime. So I prefer what the author actually
who actually
meant
wants to see?
and what actually wants. Yes, wanted to show and how it revolves. And sometimes, fortunately, it turns out to be very good.
Anindita and Shorna, anime or manga?
Manga. I mean, I'm more into shoujo and shoujo animes. I mean, shoujo mangas do not get so much adaptation. And if you consider animes like Gaku and Alice, the manga was superb. It had around 180 chapters, but when it was adapted to anime, they not only shortened it, they ruined the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
Also, they
maybe
change the
they
story. I mean, that can happen when a manga is getting adapted into an anime series. Can they
Yeah,
What?
change the story?
Yeah,
pardon.
they did it with
Yeah,
Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, in the
yeah,
yeah,
they
first
they
did
one.
it
have
with
the right.
like the
Yeah,
for in case of Full Metal Alchemist, like it was like when the manga was in its 10th or 11th chapter, and the episode was already like way past that was to plot. So they changed the whole plot and they made a new plot that was totally different than the what the manga showed to us, and that's why they had to reboot it again in 2008, 2009, I guess. Nine, the end of the 2009.
I mean that also happened with Sosei no Onmyoji. I mean the manga is
Right.
still on and the anime has ended with a completely different thing. They diverted it midway from the
Yeah,
story and
and also like
completely
someone
changed
said
everything.
So like someone also said, like shoujo mangas, they don't give usual the attention they should get. Like most shoujo mangas do not
Yeah,
have a second season.
yeah, I
Like,
love
and
those
that's a
mangas.
bummer. Like there are really good shoujo mangas out there, and they do not get that attention that they deserve.
I
Yes.
think
So
No,
it's
shoujo
exactly.
manga,
I
correct me if I'm wrong. Shoujo manga are those manga which is written for the young teenage females.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
that's the
Girls,
perspective of
teenage girls.
people because of
Mm-hmm.
young. It's shoujo manga for young girls, but that's
Yeah.
not really the
Shoujo
case
manga
in
is
these
more.
days because everyone like girls like shonen, which are aimed towards young
Yeah.
boys, and boys can love shoujo because it's nothing but shonen are mostly action adventure, mostly
Yeah, and
always, and
whereas
shoujo are
shoujo are
mostly love
rom-coms.
stories.
Rom-coms. Yeah, they're
Right.
mostly rom-coms, like
And
of
they
life.
just think action adventure is always for boys, which is not really the case. Like anyone can watch whatever they want.
Right.
If
Right.
I'm not
Right.
wrong, most of shoujo mangas are rather like developed into drama series and all.
Yeah, many shoujo mangas get developed in
Yes.
drama
Some
series.
even get
Uh,
Yeah.
adapted into K dramas.
Mo-
yes,
Yeah,
Shoujo
dramas
so
as
manga.
well.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the story
there
is
was this
filtered a lot.
Anindita,
anime.
what you say? Yeah, Anindita.
Yeah, even if they are turned into a drama, the story is filtered a lot. It is again shortened. Like there's this movie on Okami Shoujo to Kuro Oji.
Mm-hmm.
It had
Yeah,
to cut a lot of things. And then there's this another. There are a lot of dramas, K-dramas. They actually shorten the main story, just like anime.
Okay, 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 okay. Nice, nice. Uh,
Like they have like 12 or 24 episodes, so they have to cram it up all in that amount of time. Like they did with Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, they
Like
have the budget
like
and all,
100
the
somethings
time,
of
okay,
the chapter like into 12 episode, like yeah, like that.
and most of the anime needs to be like they need to air in every week, right? So there
mm-hmm.
is that
Yeah.
also. Like the good
Okay.
thing, like why Attack on Titan didn't get ruined up till now, cause it got like separated into two parts in every season, like part one and part two, and they were totally, and the manga had already progressed so much before it got released. So there's that also.
Attack on Titan is not a regular shonen like Naruto, so they did not
Yeah,
like
it's a
go
seinen.
on weekly. Yeah, so that's why. Like in Naruto, they have to do weekly things because
Huh.
with children that watch it, people in that demographic that watch it, they want the episode next week. That's why
Like,
Boruto is
and
right now
most of the
running.
Naruto fillers aren't that bad also. Like some of the stories, they have some good stories as well. But like the
Mm-hmm.
most frustrating part about Naruto was like midway you're fighting with Madara, and then all of a sudden you're fighting against robot Naruto. That was kind of like that was
That
a
was
turn off.
funny, man. Who thinks about those like failures? Like, how do
All
they
right.
get these ideas, Robot Naruto?
All right. Mr. Blue Gamer.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
So
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
I can hear
manga
you.
or yeah, manga or anime.
I would say yes. Previously I would preferred anime. Then
Yeah.
when some of the animes like No Game No Life, there's High School DxD and some other. It wasn't made into an anime, and I was really impatient. So I read the light novels and even the Mahoka Rutose,
Mahokai.
the magic. Yeah. So I started reading the light novel, and suddenly I heard that due to piracy issues and everything, scans were not properly translated. So I myself learned Japanese to read the manga
Oh,
untranslated and translate it for myself and read it. I was
Okay.
with another
Like a
three
man.
students, like my classmates, and they were also like me. They wanted to read No Game No Life and Mahoka Rotose. I guess it was volume 25 or 20. After 22 it was didn't translate, so we translated ourselves and read it, and it was really nice. Then slowly there was a GitHub project, and it was later dissolved, but still we we translated ourselves and read it. It was quite fun. So I would prefer nowadays manga and light novel. As someone said that it's you very easily to visualize. Yes, there's a lot of freeform enabled in the anime. Sorry, I mean manga or visual light novel. you can
Mm-hmm.
like do certain stuff which you can't do in anime. It's really restricted itself. Anime has really short form episodes. They have to strict budget. So yes, manga always, manga line novels.
Yes,
Yeah,
Tom.
Tologna.
I have a question. Like, I know people prefer like manga over anime, but most of the anime does consist of like very beautiful music. Like, and how do you feel in that situation? I mean, like in case of like Naruto, there are like very amazing musics. I mean, do you get that feel while reading manga? That's
Like
No,
I
so
when you read manga, you get totally absorbed in the story. Like at some point, you do not think about that. But
yeah.
yeah, it is totally a point that we totally miss out the nice OSTs and the other songs that they give. That's the point. But when you read a manga, when you're in a heated conversation against a villain and all, you do not really think about the background music that's going behind you.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
And
Also, I would like to add one thing.
Yeah, no, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, in manga now, if you can read in a Japanese like the language, there is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sounds. Okay, like Japanese use a lot of onomatopoeia. So if there is like dokan, those kind of sounds completely get in your brain. Like when you're reading in the Japanese format, if you can, sometimes there are translation that actually change the sounds, but those are very rare. But if you can read in a Japanese format, those sounds get into your head and you can visualize that image very well.
yeah,
So that's what happens. In like
oh,
Jojo, if you have read the Jojo manga, it has a lot of onomatopoeia in
yeah.
sounds, like in action.
How many of you know
Also,
Japanese or learn Japanese
I
because of
am,
your love
I
for
am
anime?
learning. I am in the
Okay.
process,
Okay.
but just a beginner.
And anyone else?
I'm
Yeah.
also
Adriana?
learning.
I am
Right.
also learning.
Is it because of your
I
love
Still
for
learning it.
anime and Japanese culture?
Yeah.
Well,
Suppose anyway.
kind of, but I also love learning languages. So,
Yeah. Right.
okay,
Yes.
Right.
I wanted to add something else to the point that
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
people miss the OSTs and all in manga. But here's the thing, like when we are reading a manga, we can read at our own pace. I mean, anime is a fixed 23-minute episode. That's not necessary. It completely depends on the reader's own pace. I mean, we can
also,
just
I would
skip
like to add something.
pages, and so
Right.
we are just so much into the story. We can read at our own pace and go through it in as much time as we need, or short
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
time.
Right.
But in anime, they lengthen the times. Like we know in manga, there are two enemies, they're standing in front of you, and you know that there's a gap of time, but you don't have to wait for that gap of time to pass to go on to the next scene. But in anime, they have to show that time period, and they just cannot show it like without anything. They just cannot show a completely silent scene, just two men standing before each other, completely silent, everything. It's just too boring. So they have to insert some kind of music or something.
yes, yes. Also, like, do you guys like know about webtoon? Like, do you guys read webtoons?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Yeah, like in
Webtoons have
webtoons.
music as well.
Yeah, webtoons have music. They added the thing that you will miss in like the
Yes.
most manga thing. That's a great as well. I just wanted to.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know what webtoons are. If you can
Like
explain.
webtoons are like it's like web comics, like which you instead of publishing in like the magazines and stuff, they publish it in online. Like Never Webtoon, there's a Never company
Okay,
that has a web.
so Webtoon, first Webtoon is an app. There are several apps for webcomics nowadays, but Webtoon is one specific app, and it started in Korea, where they were
Yes,
like,
the
yeah,
Never
you
company.
can, I mean, individual authors like what we would call doujin in Japan, they publish their own work by themselves. They can just draw for themselves, draw a story and publish it on the Webtoon app. And Webtoon is not like separated by pages because it's not in a book format. It is just one long page. You just
Scroll.
have to scroll
Yeah,
down to get the story. And
Okay.
it started in Korea, but gradually it became popular in the West, and even people
and
from other countries
I, I
started
I'm
uploading their
curious.
own.
I'm curious about the music bit. I mean, how does that
like in
play into
webtoon
it?
is most like digital art, so like with the digital art they also add some bit of music, like they like all like when you publish a webtoon, it goes to a discover. They have a thing called discover, or the like what individual artists they put themselves. Then this like if this particular webtoon gets hit, the webtoon publication team will pick that up and they will put it in the featured thing. And when they are on the featured thing, many webtoons gets like what do you call, musicians to work with them. The artists work with some musicians to add the background music in a particular thing, like what, like if you guys have read Crimson Dragon, oh, I forgot the name. Oh my God. Like there's a, like they have like lots of music between them, like between the chapters when they're staring at each other silently or having a romantic scene. There's some romantic music behind it. If there is a like a action scene, they have like a BGM that will like turn you on, and like, and you, they will totally motivate into like into that fighting scene. So like
And
Webtoon
also,
has this thing, and
yeah. Unlike manga, it's also colored. So
yeah, it's totally colored,
yeah.
totally a digital art, it's totally colored.
In that case, like, what do you feel about the voices? I mean, in case of like,
Like
in case of like Naruto, like, in suppose an instance of like Might Guy fighting Madara. So, what happens in that case? How do you feel about the aggression which you can really see from
again,
We just imagine
I
it.
mean,
Imagine the
we
voices.
just imagine it, we just imagine the voice, like we can, like I don't know, like I, like I've said, not everyone can do this, and I'm not meaning to like make it a brag, but I can hear those voices, I can like imagine those voices. I meet a lot of people, we meet a lot of people, we can totally imagine a person, like we don't know which person sounds we are imagining at that point, whose voice we are imagining, but it's engraved in our brain. So when I see Madara and Might guys shouting at each other, there are certain voices that kind of like matchups with the physique and the way they shout, and like,
Their
and the particular
personality,
voice
mostly the
the
personality.
personality, exactly, the personality.
Yeah,
And
So
because
it's
also, if you have
totally
watched
different
the
idea.
anime before, a little bit of the anime before
Yeah,
reading the
if you watch
manga,
the anime, you can
the
totally
Seiyu,
do that voice.
the voices of Seiyus are very iconic. So I remember the Seiyu voices, like the voices of Kamiya Hiroshi that voiced Levi and Natsume, and many
Also,
other, like,
like iconic
yeah,
voice of like the voice artist of Gintoki. I forget
Tomokazu
the name.
Sugita, Tomokazu Sugita.
I mean this
Yeah,
Yes,
often
yeah, those are
happens.
iconic people.
I mean, there are sometimes we just insert their voices, just we subconsciously insert voices of
yeah,
people we
we
know
totally
already,
subconsciously do.
and sometimes it just happens like
Yeah,
we try to
like you
match a
cannot
voice with a
take out the voice
personality.
of Gintoki from your head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I
Like,
remember like a few months ago, I remember reading One Piece. It was when Wano was not yet animated, and I was
Uh-huh.
reading the Wano arc in manga, and there's this character Orochi, and I just imagined his voice subconsciously, and but when they animated it in manga, it was not the same voice because I felt a difference while watching the anime. I said, okay, so I
yeah,
was imagining this character with this voice
yeah,
for
it happens to me
so
a
many
lot.
months, and now the anime came in, and like
Yeah,
the voice
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
is
totally a
that's what,
different
like,
voice. You imagine a
when
totally
you're
different voice because of the based on the personality.
yeah, when you're reading a manga, that, like, you see this character as this certain Seiyu in the background of your head, like you have not watched the anime because it has not aired yet. So it's like this is going to be the Seiyu for this character. If it does not happen, then I quit. Like that, that's in your head. But some most of the time it does not happen. But when it does, it's like, oh my god, I win.
Yeah, exactly. Oh
It's
my
like
god.
So
that, right?
someone,
Yeah, I have to
I was
explain.
uh,
so someone just joined right now. Sujata, Shampoo just joined right now. So
Hello, everyone. I don't have a
yeah,
camera, but
hi.
yeah, hello, everyone.
Yeah, that
hello.
that
Oh, hello.
that photo is
Yes.
lovely.
I've,
Yeah,
I unfortunately don't have a webcam, so yeah.
Same.
and so
But I have a decent mic, so that's good.
you have
Yes.
a
that's
great
a lot.
mic. Yep.
So
Actually.
Shampoo, we
How's
are discussing.
everyone doing?
We are doing
Yeah.
We're
fine.
all great.
Yeah. So we were discussing what do we prefer, anime or manga. So I'm going to ask you the same question: anime or manga, and why?
Hmm. Anime or manga, right? I prefer more of a manga because I can, so I have an attention span of like what, like a sparrow. I can't watch animes nowadays, unfortunately. Can't at all. So I prefer manga because I can focus on it. Like late night manga readings, 10 out of 10, best shit ever. I can I
Yeah.
drop inappropriate words? Am I allowed to?
Well, not
You
me
have to
because
You
ask.
should ask.
this. Okay,
You
so
should ask
this will
Ronnie.
go on YouTube, and YouTube policies suck, so
Yeah, like
not
Nah,
too many can say
inappropriate
such
as in,
things.
come on, I do live streams, okay? I already drop a lot of F-bombs over there.
I mean,
Doesn't
as long
matter.
as
But yeah, nah,
I
so,
don't get blocked
yeah,
repeatedly.
but I prefer mangas a lot because first thing first, I can actually focus on reading a manga at a late night. I can read till 3, 4 p.m. Sorry, not p.m.,
hey,
a.m. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's fun. Basically, I can focus on it. That's it. Compared to an anime. I
like
don't have
Right.
any other reason.
yeah, like I
That's
recently
reasonable.
started One Piece, and One Piece, we all know that it's a long manga, right? 960 chapters, 970 plus chapters,
Mhm.
and I started it 3 to 4 days back, and I'm already at 670th chapter.
Great.
So
Oh.
Yeah, manga saves a lot of time. Like just I finished Shingeki no Kyojin. It's up to chapter something
128,
130. That is
128.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
120. Yeah. The recent
Hmm.
chapter that was released. Okay, and it took me like 24 hours straight. Like I was reading for straight 24, 20, not 24 hours, a little bit lesser than that, but I
like one
caught up
can
all
read
those
it.
chapters. Yeah,
Yeah, like I was
so
saying before,
it saves a lot of time.
I recently
If
started
I
the
watch that
Shingeki.
anime, then
It will
it would have
take
taken weeks.
yeah,
It will
that's
take a lot
Yeah,
of time.
this
Like
is the thing, right? Like I remember I started reading Shokugeki around, let's say, what was that time? 2018, na?
yeah, I guess
Snehashizda?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ওরকমই বেরিয়েছিল, yes.
1998, 98, 99 chapter jeta. 2018, I
yeah,
guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
So
most likely.
I remember I started reading it around 98 chapter and then I dropped that whole thing altogether because it was not complete. And the manga finished last year, I guess. Like,
yeah,
I guess it
Yeah,
finished last year.
yeah.
And I
last year.
Don't read the
remember
manga. If you
between
have
two
not read it,
nights,
don't read it. It's not good.
I know,
and
like there was some bubble.
I remember finishing it in like 2 nights, all straight. The rest of the chapters, it was fine experience. Ending
I
was
have a
kind of
question.
meh.
Yeah. Ending.
Ending was kind of meh, but the
Yep.
post ending, that filler chapter was like okay, I guess. I don't know.
Like chalta hai.
I mean,
Ah, exactly.
I mean, I don't have opinion on much things except cosplay because yeah, I do cosplay, so yeah.
We will talk about cosplay.
We'll talk
Oh
about
shit!
it later.
Do you guys want me to
Yeah.
talk about cosplay? I can go on for two
Okay,
hours
We'll
if I
come to
want.
that. We'll
okay,
come to that.
okay.
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on.
Hold on to it. Okay, I have like
That was
common
some
thing.
enthusiasm. Wow.
No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. I cannot speak for 2 hours for cosplay. Yeah, around
No,
15,
no, we
20
don't
minutes,
have
I
much
guess.
time. We
No, I
Yes,
mean,
we don't have
Yeah,
much
yeah.
time.
if
Also.
Oh
This
yeah.
is
shit.
if we are done with the manga section, then I will just stop recording this part and
No, no.
start the next part.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can take
yeah,
that.
go ahead.
Okay, so manga
You can
section
take
ends
that.
here.